Hello and welcome back to Level Up with Loraine. Today is part 2 of last week's episode called 36 Lessons at 36. In part 1, I managed to share 20 of those lessons, and today is a continuation of the remaining 16 lessons. And so if you had not had the opportunity to engage with last week's episode, I would like to encourage you to stop right here, go back and listen to that particular episode before you continue. Otherwise, welcome back and let's get straight into it. 21. Never stop learning. So I think the key lesson here for me is that life is one big lesson. And the older I get, the more I realize how little I know. So having the ability to unlearn, irrelevant old stuff and make space to learn new stuff, having the appetite and the interest and the zeal to continuously learn and develop myself. So never lose an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and understanding. And that comes through reading, through listening to podcasts like Level Up with Loraine, or, engaging with people who know more than you or are older than you. Just be open to it because you can never know enough. 22. Happiness is really a choice. It sounds very cliche, right? But it is less about what happens to you and around you and more about who you are and how you decide to view life. So most people view their lives as either worse than they expected or better than they deserve. And why is that? Why can't we just be happy and accepting of the fact that I'm exactly where I need to be? I'm happy with the state of where I am and who I am, because perspective determines everything. If you view your life as worse than it needs to be, of course, you're not going to be happy. You're going to be so, demoralized, demotivated. You know what I mean? Or if you view your life as though it's better than you deserve, it's all luck. You know what I mean? You are again not enjoying life. So happiness is a choice. Understand that you are where you are because you deserve it. You worked hard for it. Even if it's luck, so what? You are where you are and God has smiled upon you. So I think it also speaks to being present, right? Which we spoke about before. Be present. Embrace where you are. Choose to focus on the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Choose to see the brighter side of life. Happiness is a choice. Number 23 is something I think my husband and I, or a very good friend of mine, were laughing about, right? A lot of times when we don't do things in life, it's because we always think about what will so and so think? What will they say? They're judging me. Or what if this person, says this and this negative stuff about me? Honestly, no one is thinking about you. That's number 23. No one is thinking about you. No one spends their days judging you or criticizing you but yourself. Your worst enemy is your critical voice in your head. And this is the voice you listen to 10 times more than any other person. The constant thoughts that you aren't good enough, that you failed and things will never be better, or so-and-so are talking about me, or I think they don't like me. All that stuff steals your passion and your joy, right? Learning to silence that voice. And I always talk about that voice in your head because it's your biggest critic. It's your biggest enemy. Silence that voice, or at the very least, ignore it. Train yourself to ignore that voice. That is the key to happiness, right? When you can ignore that voice, drown it out, and understand that no one is thinking about you but yourself. No one is criticizing you but yourself. The only person you're competing against is you yesterday, right? The previous version of yourself. That's the person you're competing against, not Sally from next door, not your friend Jessica from high school. No, she's not even thinking about you. You're thinking about her. So, yeah, that was a key lesson for myself, to do things for me and to compete against myself and all that jazz. And once you silence that voice, understand that confidence to then do what you need to do is only gained by taking action. So that's number 24. You need to take action for you to build your confidence, right? Try, fail, try again, fail again, try again, fail less, try again, sort of get it, try again, get it, try again, success. Okay, that's the only recipe to gaining confidence. You will make mistakes and you will fail. You have to, right? That's the only way you will learn. And it's how you grow and become a better person or version of yourself. Take the bruised ego and the hurt pride that comes with failing and take it out of the equation, because that will happen. But once you accept it, you get over it quickly, right? And you will flourish and be better than before. It's not easy. It's not an easy lesson, but it will make all the difference. There's a lot of things that we don't do because we are afraid to fail or we don't have the confidence to start. It's usually in taking the first step that the difficulty resides. Once you take the first step, the gig is done. The job is done, right? It's now being consistent and continuing to take small steps towards success. And then this next one makes me laugh, but it was a lesson I learned recently, actually. And like I said, I have a very close group of friends, and most of them are from high school. Majority of my friends, if not 90%, are high school friends. And we are all in this season or phase of, taking care of families, taking care of babies, pushing career, pushing family, pushing career, pushing family. And so there's very little time for us, very little time for one-on-ones. And when we do get that time, we savor it and we make the most of it. But it's becoming less and less because life happens. So I used to take offense, right? Particularly before I became a mom. I didn't understand why my friends who were moms were not picking up my calls. Like, pick up my calls, respond to my messages. Why are you taking 24 hours to respond? Until I learned this lesson. So number 25 is people are busy. Okay, stop taking offense. Everyone is consumed with the tornado of their lives. And when someone doesn't reach out, assume that their life is full and be the one to make the effort. Because 99.9% of the time, they will be overjoyed to hear from you. But they just don't have the time or the capacity to pick up the phone and call you, right? So stop taking offense and call your friends. So that was a really big lesson. And now that I'm on the other side of it and I'm the one going through a tornado, I'm like, geez, Louise, why were you being such a drama queen? People's lives are full and busy, and don't take offense. So it's funny now, but I really was in my feelings when it was happening. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool lesson for all of us. And a very good friend of mine, shout out to Lina, she said something that remains with me to date and has now become sort of mantra when it comes to relationships at this age. She said, people might not show up how you expect them to, but allow them the grace to show up how they can in that season. And so before you take offense, think about what could that person be going through? How can I show up for them the way I would love them to show up for me? And just extend grace. All right. So we're making progress, and I'll try and go quickly to wrap up the last 11 points. Number 26, do you. Okay, stay in your lane. People will show you well-curated pictures and stories. They will share the best versions of their lives. Don't compete with social media lives. This, is a real one, right? I have friends who I've had honest discussions with and who have been honest with me, and they have left social media. Very close people to me have left social media because of the pressure that they felt, or sort of the pressure that they experienced just by scrolling and viewing other people's lives and experiences. I also know people that are going through the most, right? They are going through the most heart wrenching, the most devastating life experiences. They've lost loved ones. They have lost marriages. They're going through divorces. They've lost their jobs. They are experiencing depression. And although I'm privy to this information, the people that are following them on their pages don't necessarily know that. And so when you see a picture of this lady or this man, in the Maldives or dressed to the nines, having the best meal, sitting at the airport about to take another trip, and you haven't taken a trip in a while, it's very easy to then, compare your life to those people. Now, let me tell you, everyone goes through challenges. Everyone has their own struggles. And we are running different races, right? Your race is very different to mine. I may look like I'm doing well, and I probably am, but that's because I have worked hard for it and I am where I am because it's my time. But that doesn't mean that your time, or it never will be your time, right? Lorraine's time is different from your time. That's the first thing. Secondly, we go through different seasons. When I'm down, you are up. When you are up, I am down. It only steals your joy to look at my picture and equate that to great success and happiness and joy, and then look at yours and say, I must be failing because, surely she's doing better than me. Don't steal your own joy by comparing your life to other people's lives. Remember, what you see on social media is the front end of their life, and you're comparing it to the back end of yours. There's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes before that picture is posted, okay? And yes, she may be doing well. Loraine could very well be doing well, prospering, etc. But it's a season. I'm never going to post the picture when I am down and under. I'm never going to post the picture when things are not going well. I'm certainly going to show you the glitz, the glam, the good life, right? So be very careful how you use social media. And I think I look forward to doing an episode. If you are passionate about this topic, please hit me up, whoever you are, and you're listening, because a lot of people are going into depression, trying to impress people they don't like with money they don't have, right? Stop it. Just stop it right now. Stay in your lane, run your own race. Seasons change, and social media is not real. It's not the full story. And I hope this helps someone, but I'm certainly going to do an episode dedicated to social media, the gift and the curse, and how to use it responsibly and appropriately, and not equate everything you see to your own self-worth. That's just wrong, and it steals your joy. So that's a great lesson I've learned through watching close people to me, really struggling with social media, and some comments people have made. And, even just when they post pictures and you're like, I only got one like. Do people not like me? Why didn't you like my picture? I want you to remember what I shared on point number 23. No one is thinking about you, right? If I failed to like your picture, it's not because I'm thinking about you and bringing you down, right? No one is spending their days thinking about you. That is the voice in your head. Stop comparing your life to other people. Stop seeking validation from social media. Your self-worth is much more, and it is not measured by the number of likes and the quality of curated pictures that people like. And stop comparing those to your own life. I hope this is useful. I wanted to spend a bit more time on social media because honestly, we say that the younger generation is the one that is committing suicide and getting into depression because of it. But I actually think the middle-aged, right, 30s, 40s, could very well be struggling even more, because at this age you would have wanted to have met certain goals, have bought that dream house, that dream car, have done 1, 2, 3, and you haven't. And so when you see someone else achieving that on social media, it's very easy to then start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't do that. Do not do that. Stay in your lane. Focus on your own life. Alrighty, let's move on. Number 27, God's time is the best time. Honestly, this lesson, I think I should have learned it when I was a teenager or early 20s, because every time I wanted something and didn't get it, it always then made sense later on why it didn't happen at my time, but at the right time, which, because I am a faith-driven person, I strongly believe God's time is the best time. Okay, number 28. Sometimes you can do everything right and your child will still behave like a little terrorist. I have one child, and so I have had really high standards for myself and my parenting style, and that this child would be perfect. Can I tell you that God gave me the most energetic, most OTT, most active child ever, right? Most people say she's a little mini me, and maybe she is. And so, yeah, it's very easy for a parent to take it personally when your child is naughty, or when your child doesn't behave in a certain way. I think a key lesson for me, especially lately, she's just turned 4, and yeah, boy, am I having a time. I have my hands full with this one. So yeah, the lesson is, you will take it as a personal reflection of your worth at first, but then as your kid gets older, you let go of the illusion of control, right? Because I'm a control freak, and I'm realizing actually it's this parenting thing is not in my hands. I can only do so much. And all I can do is love her through the ups and the downs, and just keep leading by example. So that is something I'm still learning. Let me not lie, actually. I haven't totally grasped it, but I'm still learning that this child, this little girl, will do whatever is on her mind, whatever she wants to. But I can lead by love. I can lead by example, and continue to try and steer her in the right direction. She's an amazing kid, but she's 4. And so I should stop taking all the dramatics, the theatrics to heart. That's a key lesson, actually. I've been trying to control a 4-year-old to act like an adult, to be a little lady. It's not working out. And I guess that's my fault. And yeah, I'm laughing about it, but yeah, the girl has stretched me. Okay, I'm learning every day. So it's not in my control. All I can do is love her and lead her, and trust that I am a shepherd. I like that. Ooh, that was deep. I'm a shepherd. Okay, so that was a parenting lesson. Number 29, put effort in your relationships. Relationships are a lot of work, and mostly they are about compromise. So the best relationships you make in life are the ones you give the most to. I recently got called out by a very close friend of mine, and she was just saying, Lo, you don't make time for this relationship. You're not putting in as much as I'm putting in. And she was right. Now, for various reasons, I was consumed by other things and I wasn't making time. And I really value this woman. I really value my friend. And so the lesson there was, there certainly needs to be a compromise, right? There needs to be a point where you call yourself out and you make time for things that matter to your friend, so that you can continue to invest in that relationship. And honestly, the same rings true even in my marriage. There's a reason why people say keep the fire burning. Literally, it could die a natural death if you don't invest in it, right? So going on dates and calling each other, joking with each other, continuing to just keep the fire burning, doing the things that makes your relationship thrive and survive. Because if you take advantage of it and you stop investing time and effort and resources into your relationships, they will die a natural death. And which is why a lot of people then say, oh, we grew apart, or yeah, we outgrew each other. Because you don't want to leave each other behind. Walk the journey together. And this is for best friends or close friends or partners, spouses, whatever relationship it is. Don't leave your person behind. Invest in the relationship and walk the journey together. Okay. Lesson number 30. Develop your mental fortitude. Oh, this one is critical. I learned, I think, late 20s, early 30s, that the battle is always in the mind. And we've been talking about this in different sort of topics in this episode today, whether it's starting something new and you just don't have the confidence to do it, trying to have difficult conversations or giving feedback or things like that. Really, the battle is always in the mind. You're capable of so much more than you think, but you have to want it and you have to want to invest in it. And there's an awesome book by Craig Groeschel called Winning the War in Your Mind. Change your thinking, change your life. If you haven't read this book, I implore you, look for it and read it. Most of the things you're battling with, whether it's social media, which we just discussed, whether it's starting something new and you just are questioning yourself, imposter syndrome, self-doubt, relationships, most of the reasons why you are stagnant or stumbling is because you have a mental block. You have a battle that you haven't won and it's in your mind. Once you win that mental war, the battle is done, really. Now you can just action what it is you need to action. So look for this book and I will link it in the description below. All right. Number 31, vulnerability is a superpower. And this is something I have learned, particularly because I am a strong person. So I struggle with asking for help, and I will talk about that below. I struggle with asking for help. I'm someone who has been self-sufficient for a long time, very independent from a very young age. And so for me to be able to say to someone, I'm struggling, I really need your help, is something that doesn't come naturally to me. But what I have learned recently is that vulnerability is really about connection. I found that when you have a tribe or a circle of people that you trust, that are authentic, that have your best interests at heart, vulnerability becomes a superpower. It's something that you will do naturally because it's really based on deep human to human connectedness. And it's only in that space, in that sacred space, that you can pour out your heart and be vulnerable. But also, once you are vulnerable, the reason it's a superpower is because you can work through your emotions easier rather than pushing them away. And vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It's a sign of courage, when you're able to tell someone, I'm struggling, I need help, this is what I need. That's courage. And it also helps you become more resilient and brave. And you can embrace who you truly are and what you're truly feeling. But like I said, it only happens when you feel safe, when there's that psychological safety. And that comes from having a true, tight-knit circle or tribe of people that care about you. And they care about you. So vulnerability is a superpower. And I encourage anyone who's listening to tap into it. Tap into it and try it and see what it does for you. Number 32 is pretty easy. And I think it's one of the foundations of protecting your peace, right? Which is something we spoke about earlier. So learn to say no and be okay with it without qualification, without explanation, without needing to justify anything. Just be able to say no. I have struggled with this. I'm a yes person, especially when it's people I love, right? It's very hard for me to push back. And so I say yes a lot, and then I overburden myself with commitments that I know either one, I'm not passionate about, or two, I don't want to do them, or three, I don't have capacity for them. And I start resenting those people. And yet I'm the one who said yes when I couldn't. And so the word no is very powerful. And once you practice it once, twice, thrice, it just starts rolling off your tongue. It becomes easy, but you have to do it. You have to. And in the beginning, you will find yourself saying no and sort of explaining yourself. No, I'm sorry, I can't do this for you, because sometimes you will even lie, make up lies just so that the no lands properly, lands, swiftly. It doesn't need to. Okay. A no is a no. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry, unfortunately, I can't. That's it. You don't need to explain yourself. But again, it comes with practice and it comes with maturity. And I'm certainly there now. I'm very, very comfortable with saying no. 33. So this next one is asking for help is not a weakness. I will not spend time on it because it's very similar to 31, which is vulnerability is a superpower. So again, I struggle to ask for help. I will try and do something on my own for the longest time when I could have just asked for help and taken a shortcut and, leveraged relationships, connections to make something happen. So now I'm learning that it's actually not a weakness, it's a strength. And yeah, we've already spoken about this at length. So, and I think it's quite straightforward. So I'll move on. 34. This one is be authentic. It's refreshing. Do you know what? The joy, the peace, the freedom that comes with you showing up as your true self is unexplainable, right? There is power in being authentic. There's power in being genuine. At this big age, no one has time to be BSing and out here flexing and not being authentic. I particularly started this podcast because I wanted to have real conversations that are vulnerable, that are genuine, that are authentic, that show my heart, and, have an organic following of people that are like-minded and are also genuine, right? And so I think it's attractive. I think it's refreshing, and authenticity is about presence, right? Living in the moment with conviction and confidence and staying true to yourself. And an authentic person puts the people around them at ease. They are comforting, and they're like an old friend who welcomes you in and makes you feel at home. Brene Brown said the following about an authentic person. To be authentic, we must cultivate the courage to be imperfect and vulnerable. We have to believe that we are fundamentally worthy of love and acceptance, just as we are. I've learned that there is no better way to invite more grace, more gratitude, and joy into our lives than by mindfully practicing authenticity. How powerful is that? Just by being yourself. So that is sort of the way I want to live my life, and that I have been for the past couple of years, and just the realization that authenticity is powerful. All right, so we are down to 2. Number 35, what you focus on grows. So this basically means if you focus on the negative or a problem, that problem becomes bigger than it is. If you focus on good and you focus on the positive and you focus on, great things, it's highly likely that that will become your reality. So what you focus on grows, and be careful what occupies your mind, what occupies your attention. Make sure that you are paying attention and focusing on things that are positive and things that bring you joy, because then that multiplies. And the very last one, which is lesson number 36, is invest in your family, spend time with your loved ones. This one is obviously post the pandemic and the number of people we lost, friends, family, but also I lost my brother. This was in 2020, and I can't explain the feeling. I grieve him every day. Some days are better than the others, but I certainly miss him and I wish I had spent more time with him. And when I look at my folks, my parents right now, it's a different relationship when you're an adult, right? It's almost like they're your children. And yeah, it's up to you how you redefine your interactions with your parents. And they have become my really close friends and children, because I'm always like fussing over their health, their well-being, etc. But we are closer now because I can relate to some of the things they went through when I was a child, and I couldn't understand why they made certain decisions, or they would say things, or they would refuse me certain opportunities, etc. So now they're more like my peers. And I don't take for granted that not everyone has parents. So for you, it could be your siblings, right? I'm also finding that I have a new redefined relationship with my sisters. We're closer, we're like friends. And you cannot take it for granted. Time flies. Life is fragile. And you don't want to look back and regret not spending time with your loved ones when you could. So pick up that phone, call them daily, love on them, love hard. And it could also just be your friends, and if you have good friends, if you have great people in your life, do not fumble those relationships. Don't take them for granted. Don't waste time. Spend time with the people you love. Call them, love them, spoil them, give them their flowers whilst they're still alive, because life is fragile. So that has been a key learning for me, and a key lesson that your loved ones won't always be there. So make the most of the time that you have together. All right, so those are all the 36 lessons that I have learned in my 36 years of life, which I believe are relevant in your 30s and beyond. And I also wish I had known whilst I was in my 20s. So that's it. Thank you for listening. If you're hearing this message, it means you have listened to my episode to the very end. And for that, I am truly thankful. And I am so excited to hear your feedback. Please hit me up on levelupwithloraine@gmail.com with your feedback, your suggestions. And if you want to be a guest, also let me know using the same email address. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it, rate it, share it with your friends. Until next time, goodbye and continue to level up.